Welcome to Secure the Bag Week 18, a special Saturday edition. It's your boy A-Dub.
And your boy's Drizzy. What's up, SLAC fam?
What's good out there? And we had to mix it up a little bit. Usually we do our Secure the Bag on Thursdays, but with the first games of the weekend being on Saturday instead of Thursday this week, we figured we'd do a little special Saturday morning cartoon style edition of the show.
Saturday morning.
Exactly. So we appreciate y'all rocking with us, though, and we definitely had to get our picks in, of course, before the first kickoff. But one other thing we want to do is, as we're going through this week, talk about the playoff implications of each of these games as we're making our picks. So a lot of fun stuff. A lot of playoff teams still, a lot of teams still alive for the playoffs. So
yeah, it's crazy.
It should definitely be a very interesting weekend. And of course, the NFL kind of scheduled things out, so things will be happening at the same time. There'll be a lot of scoreboard watching, but we're going to get you ready with everything you need to know going into the weekend so that you can enjoy these games and understand the implications. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get it popping. Pops is in the building. What's good?
Pops.
Good morning. He's got the alarm going off for us. Make sure we're getting it together. So let's jump into our program for the week. And hold on one second. I just got to make sure I got my little side notes, and hopefully they're correct. But you know how that goes. We make it happen either way. Last week, I actually had a pretty good week. 11, Strizzy with the 9. So we'll see how this did our rankings later. But I'm caught up a little bit. Actually, I think I'm down by 1, but we'll have to see later. I think I might be down by 1 still. Either it's 1 or it's tied. So going into the last weekend, we got a lot on the line here.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're gonna see if we can, if I can make it, if I can get in there. You know what I'm saying? And also, we still need to get our week win. Neither of us have gotten that win for the week yet. So, so we're still working on that for sure. All right. Let's get this thing going. Oh, we got Shay in the building as well.
Really?
The Thunder have been playing super well too.
Yeah.
So shout out to Shay on that one. Okay. All right, let's get this thing going. And I don't know why it reverted back, but okay, so that's where we're at. We're gonna go ahead and start with the first game, which is this week's the first game of the weekend. We've got the Steelers at the Ravens. Now the Steelers need to win in order to keep their hopes alive. If they lose, they're out. But if they win and the Bills lose, they're in. Or if they win and the Jaguars lose, or if they win and the Texans and the Colts tie, which is really strange. But I do have the Steelers winning this game. I think Baltimore is going to rest most all of their starters. And I feel like with the Steelers defense, they only need like a couple plays from their offense, a couple long plays to Pickens, and they can win this game.
I agree with you on this one. I think Steelers way more implications. Ravens are literally resting all of their big-time players. I don't think it's going to be a big blowout, though. The defensive coordinator with the Ravens and the defensive players in general, I think they're still going to make it really tough for the Steelers, and they're in Baltimore. But I like the Steelers in this one, too.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree that we talked about it the other day. It's like the division rivalry, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not going to let those Baltimore Ravens players take it too lightly.
Yeah.
But I just feel like the Steelers, they have a lot more to gain in this game.
Definitely.
So that's what's up. All right. So that's our first one there. Next up, we've got the Texans and the Colts. And this is a win and you're in scenario. Both of these teams are still alive for the division, but also if they win the game, they can, clinch at least a wild card spot. So that's a pretty cool one. I'm going with the Texans in this one. These teams played way back in week 2, and the Texans looked really good against the Colts. But both of these teams are still finding themselves, right? It's like a completely new team. At this point, Stroud is not just the rookie he was. He's more looking like a veteran. I feel like he's ready to take this team over the top, and that offense is going to be too much. So I'm going with the Texans in this one.
I like the Texans too, man. What a story, you know what I mean? I feel like, first time head coach, D'Amico Ryan's taking over, and Stroud should have been the number 1 pick, but he wasn't. But he's playing so well, man, and he's doing it still without Tank Dell, you know what I mean? And still playing well. So I got Texans too. I think Texans take it.
Yeah, for sure. And the Colts have had a great year. But it's exciting to see what will happen when they get their guy back, you know what I'm saying? With Richardson.
Because they looked really good at the beginning of the year too.
Exactly. So a lot to look forward to. Yeah, a lot to look forward to for them. All All right, let me go here real quick. Next up, we've got the first game of Sunday, the Falcons at the Saints. And this has playoff implications as well because both of these teams are technically alive for the NFC South. If they, win and the Tampa Bay Bucks lose, then the winner of this game would win the South. Also, Atlanta is still alive. Or I'm sorry, the Saints are still alive through wild card potentially as well. So all that being said, let me restart our timer a little bit. I'm going to figure out a way to not start the timer, but
It's all good.
with all that being said, I do think that the Saints win at home. I think that they're playing a better brand of ball right now, and that home field will be the difference. I don't know if the Saints get in, but I think that they're still going to at least win to keep their chances alive.
Yeah, I do too. I like them so much more than the Falcons right now. Falcons got a lot going on that I think they need to fix. Coaching, I think coaching needs to go too. They have way too many talented players to be this bad, in my opinion, or to just not be better than what they are. You know what I'm saying? So I like the Saints too. I think that, like I said, they're playing a little bit more rounded football right now.
For sure. And they would actually need, if they won this game and the Seahawks win and the Packers lose, then they would win those tiebreakers. So lots of different scenarios. Moving on, we've got the Browns at the Bengals, and this game has no playoff implications. I am actually picking the Bengals because their Browns are resting their starters as well for this week. I think that the Bengals, a meaningless game. Their playoff hopes have been dashed, but I think that they'll come out and win at home.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the under on this game. I like the Browns. I like the Bengals too. Like you said, home game. Like you said, neither one of these guys have any real playoff implications in this game. Like you said, Browns are resting, so I'm taking Bengals too.
Yeah. And the Browns being able to do this and get some rest is kind of dangerous. Watch out for the Browns in the playoffs, especially depending on how their matchups fall. I think that that's going to be very interesting. That's a team to watch, a sneaky team. So,
yeah.
All right. Next up, we've got the Jags and the Titans. The Jags win this game. They win the division. The Titans are out of the playoffs already. So they could just be spoilers at this point. But I'm going with the Jags at this point. Titans, the wheels have really just fallen off over the last 6 weeks. And the Jags have been inconsistent, but they have enough to get it done today.
I almost want to pick the Titans as a spoiler, dog. Like, Jags just haven't looked very good to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they really haven't. And it's been with and without Trevor Lawrence. You know what I mean? Like, Trevor Lawrence just hasn't been very good this year. He's got a lot of weapons. They are missing Christian Kirk, which I know that hurts a little bit. And they should get it done. But I think I'm going to go Tennessee in a spoiler and an upset.
I like that. I would love to see that. I would love to see the Texans win tonight and Tennessee kind of upset the apple cart tomorrow and the Texans sneak in there with a division win. That would be super dope. We know that they'll be the winner of the Colts-Texans game will be watching this one closely regardless.
For sure. So. Jags should win, but I'm hoping for the upset.
Yeah. No, I feel you. Pops is going with the Jags as well.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we've got Minnesota and Detroit. Detroit is locked into their playoff spot, but Minnesota can actually get in with a win and a Packers and a Seahawks and a Buccaneers loss. So they need a lot of help, but they're still technically alive. I don't see it happening. I'm going with Detroit in this one only because of how things ended last week. I think that they want to, kind of get some momentum going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. I think Detroit wins. I think they're still pretty upset. And I know they want you guys again in the playoffs. I think a lot of the players have mentioned it. And I think there's still seeding implications, right? I think Detroit, if they win this game.
Actually, technically, yeah. Technically, I'm sorry. They can get to the 2 seed if the Eagles and the Cowboys lost. So they still can move up their seeding.
Yeah. So not really playoff implications, but definitely some seeding implications. And I think Lions they want to win before going into the playoffs. They don't want to go in with a loss.
Yeah, no doubt. So all of us going with the Lions on that one. Next up, a seemingly meaningless game. No playoff implications, but this is potentially Bill Belichick's last home game as a Patriots coach. That's why I have to pick the Patriots in this one. The Jets have been bad. They've really given up on their season, released different players, sat players down for these last couple weeks. So I think that the Patriots definitely got this one.
Yeah, completely agree. I think it is his last season as a Patriot coach, Belichick, and I think he definitely gets this done, especially in Foxborough. So the Patriots got to win this game.
Exactly. Like if you do anything else for Bill Belichick, at least players help him go out with a win. You know what I'm saying? He needs that. So that'll be an interesting one. That'll be potentially a little bit of a sad one. All right, next up we got Tampa Bay at Carolina Panthers, and Tampa Bay, if they win this game, they win the NFC South. I think that that's the big enough motivation. Also, though, we have Baker Mayfield revenge game, sort of. I just think Tampa Bay, though, has too much firepower in this one, and I think they get it done.
Yeah, man, I agree. I think they win this game to keep their chances at the division alive, get into the playoffs for sure. And the Panthers just look really bad, man. Like it sucks watching them play. Like there's no positives. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no positives.
You're right. I mean, it's crazy. It's like it's kind of like a setback year. It's almost actually a little bit, I hate to say it, but it's a little bit worse than last year, because at least last year it's like, okay, we can bring in somebody, you know, we can do something. Now you've brought in Bryce Young and it hasn't really panned out, but I do got to give him some credit. I know he's constantly being compared to the other quarterbacks up there, but this man has gotten hammered. He's gotten sacked a bunch of times. We worried about his size, and he actually hasn't missed he only missed one game with injury, I think, right?
Yeah, so, I don't even think he really missed it. I think they just
kind of sat him
Yeah, I think they're just a little more worried than anything. So they sat him for literally one game. So I think he was fine. It's just precaution, you know what I'm saying?
So I think if there's one thing, maybe that's a tiny silver lining, is like at least his health held up. You know what I'm saying? At least we didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah. He did have the second most sacks of all time by any quarterback, not just the rookie. Just second most sacks of all time. And he set a record for most throwaways in the season. You know what I mean? So it sucks. The offensive line was really bad. The receivers were really bad. I know a lot of fans are trying to, your rookie year doesn't make or break you. You know what I'm saying? Like we've seen guys who had phenomenal rookie years.
Peyton Manning, Troy Aikman. Oh, I'm sorry. See guys with bad ones, you know.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying see guys with bad ones, and then they go on to have great careers, and we've seen guys who had great rookie season, and they go on to have, they're out of the league by year 5. You know what I'm saying? So like there's some hope there, but I just wish that we would have seen a little more. Like I just feel like even when he had time to throw, when he had receivers open, when like all those things, he still really didn't do well. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a little worried in that aspect. I really would have liked to see a little more like, maybe some Anthony Richardson type stuff.
Like give me some highlights. Give me some highlights.
Give me something to be excited for. And I feel like he really didn't give us anything to be excited for. So I'm hoping new coach comes in, maybe some new coordinators come in. It's going to be hard to get some weapons too, just because people, you don't really want to go to a franchise that did that bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and we don't have the picks in the draft. So I'm just so worried about next year too. But we'll see, man. Hopefully they can figure something out. Get a new GM. Fitterer's got to go.
Yeah.
And we'll figure some shit out. But yeah,
at least we can
all the way.
Yeah, for sure. And at least we can close the book on this year's Panther squad for now. So
definitely
little less pain coming your way. All right. Next up, we got the Bears at Green Bay. Green Bay, I think that they need this to clinch their playoff spot. And honestly, they've been playing hot lately. But this is going to be another interesting one because I could see the Bears kind of spoiling it. They're on a little bit of a high. They got the first pick in the draft, via the Panthers. And Fields still has a lot to prove to kind of show like, hey, he wants to stay. So this is going to be a very close game, but I got Green Bay in a tight one basically because they're at home and the playoff part.
Gotcha. I almost kind of want to pick Chicago too to upset. And the reason being is like everything you just said, all that stuff makes perfect sense, right? I think Justin Fields still has a lot to prove. And I know a lot of the guys are backing him now too. A lot of the guys are basically saying like, we want just like, why would we go with a rookie? You know what I mean? Like I think a lot of guys want Justin Fields back, and he played really well this year. But I know when Green Bay beat them earlier this year, Aaron Rodgers still felt like he had to chirp in with the whole, glad to see you guys keeping up our, tradition of owning the Bears. You know what I'm saying? So I think the Bears get this one, man. I think they win this game.
I do think that would be dope. Pops is with you on that one as well. He's got the it's like, even though their season didn't go exactly the same way, they did deal to lose. That would open the door for the Seahawks potentially. I think the Saints also that door would stay cracked open, and that's going to be happening all the same time as those other games as well. So we'll be able to see it live in kind of in real time. Those playoff chances go up and down. All right, next up we got the Cowboys at the Commanders. Cowboys are locked in. Commanders are out, but if the Cowboys win this game, they will win the NFC East. I think that is reason alone enough to pick them. I think that they'll be motivated for this one. I think it will be close because Washington will play tough, but Cowboys all the way. They take the NFC East and get the number 2 seed. I'm stoked.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'll be so mad at y'all if y'all lose this game. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, just from a disappointment standpoint. It's like, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. You know what I'm saying? But I'm with you. I feel like Cowboys can't lose this game. They have to get that home field advantage. They need home field advantage. They know they need a home field advantage. So there's no way they lose this game today. There's just no way. They got this one down. It's easy.
Yeah, for sure. After everything that's happened, though, it's pretty tight to see them kind of in the hole right there, being able to control their own destiny. After we've kind of been looking up to the Eagles ever since that early season loss to them, so that's pretty exciting. I think he said need to get politics guy to come do the playoffs. Exactly. I think I'm trying my best, Pops, but I know it's not the same. He's got them down to the percentage, you know what I'm saying? But I think Cowboys all the way in this one. All right. Next up, we have Broncos at Raiders. I'm going with the Raiders at home. They're playing really well right now, and I think Pierce is going to be the new coach. I don't think that there's any playoff implications in this game. I could be wrong, but give your pick and I'll double check.
Yeah, I'm with you on this. So I think the Raiders win this game. I think Broncos have. I feel like it's hilarious too. I feel kind of like the Panthers. I feel like a lot of players are going to be. Like free agents are not going to want to go to Denver too, considering how they did Russell Wilson. Because as much as people like to call him a cornball, people really do love that guy. You know what I mean? Like they really do. So I think Raiders win this one. I'll be really upset if Pierce doesn't get the job. Kind of the same way Wilkes didn't get the job with us. Like literally turned an entire season around. Got these guys. A lot. I think it was I can't remember who it was. Someone said they'd run through a wall for this guy. You know what I'm saying? So that tells me he has the he's backed up by the players. They probably want him back, and hopefully the job goes in. I think he's deserved it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Pops, he's not liking the way the Broncos handled that situation either. And that is a great point, though, about those implications. It's like players see that. You got to do right by people. Exactly. Or people aren't going to line up to be treated that way. People aren't going to believe you when you're sitting there talking about all the things you can do for them when they get there.
Yep.
No, you got to treat people the right way. And that was just – I don't know. That was just too phony for me.
Look at the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? Look at the Knicks.
Exactly. The sports gods don't like that bad karma. So, all right, moving on. We've got the Chiefs at the Chargers. Chiefs are locked into their spot. Chargers are out. But I think that the Chargers will win this game. The Chiefs have been kind of struggling on offense, and they are planning to sit their starters. With this one being on the road, their eyes are on the bigger prize. They know what they need to do moving forward. So I feel like they're not going to take this game too seriously.
Yeah, I agree. Chargers win this game. Chiefs kind of already know what it is. They knew that they're going to be on the road. Oh, and actually, no, they won the division. So look at the first home play. So never mind. Scratch that. But Chiefs kind of know what it is. They feel like as long as they're healthy, as long as Mahomes is healthy, like they have a shot no matter what. Defense is playing really well. So they'll sit their guys and Chargers win this game.
Yeah. So double Chargers on that one. Pops as well in the chat on the Chargers. This next one, the Rams and the 49ers. The Rams do have a wild card spot clinched, but the 49ers have the number 1 seed and the first round bye, home field advantage all through the playoffs. I feel like they're going to sit their guys because health is the biggest danger to them. So I think I'm going with the Rams in a close one. But the Rams kind of, I think, want to continue to build their momentum, and they're hot right now. So I'm going Rams.
I completely agree. I think San Francisco is still going to sit some guys. They need to sit Trent Williams. They need to sit CMC. You know what I mean? Honestly, I'd even sit Brock Purdy. Like I think Sam Darnold is starting this game. You know what I mean? Like I don't, I know Puka is like minimal yards from breaking the receptions.
So maybe he'll get like 20 yards and then be out.
Yeah, exactly. So he's going to break the receptions and the receiving yards record for a rookie. But I think, once he gets that, he'll be out. Neither one of these guys are really, really playing for anything. Rams can't even play for the division because they're in the same division as the 49ers. You know what I'm saying? So, but I still think Rams win it. I think their players will play a little bit longer and end up edging San Francisco.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, I don't know. I don't know if their seeding can change or not. I'm not sure actually on the Rams. I think they might be locked into their whatever 5th seed or whatever. But But yeah, that'll be an interesting one. But I agree. After halftime, I think they're just gonna be like, all right, let's just not get anybody hurt. Let's just get home safe, type of thing. All right. Also, the Eagles at the Giants. So this has some implications. The Eagles can still win the division and get the number 2 seed if the Cowboys were to lose. I think that they will make sure that they win this game, just to do their part.
Yeah.
And the Giants, they just have had a bad season. I think that they're ready to put a bow on this and go home too. So I'm going with the Eagles in this one.
Yeah, this is a must-win playoff game for the Eagles. Like they've dropped 4 of their last 5, or no, their last 5, right?
I think 4 out of their last 5.
Yeah, that's not good. I saw AJ Brown getting interviewed after last week's loss to the Cardinals, and he seemed pretty fired up. And he was like, we know what we need to do. We're just not doing it. And it just seemed like that interview seemed like that's going to help their whole team kind of get back on track, and they have to do that with a win. If they lose to the Giants, to me, they're out in the first round.
Yeah,
that's not going to set them up for success. It's not going to set them up mentally for success. You know what I'm saying? So they have to win this game if they want to at least go somewhat far. You know what I mean? Like I'd hate to think that they got to the Super Bowl, lost by a really crappy play. You know what I'm saying? And then they're just going to be out in the first round. But I think Eagles win this game.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it is, 4 out of their last 5 they've lost. The only team they did beat in that stretch is these Giants, even though it's kind of close.
Right.
But no, I do think that they go all out for this game to kind of get their confidence back on track and get some momentum going into the playoffs. So
yeah.
And you know how bad they would feel if somehow they lost this game and the Cowboys lost and they had their chance at the division still would be pretty crazy. So I do think that they're going to win this game for sure. Next up, we have the Seahawks at the Cardinals. This one's kind of tricky because the Seahawks, I think they need to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. But the Cardinals, for some reason, man, they've just been playing big-time spoiler lately. So we'll see what happens with that. But the Seahawks, if they win and the Packers lose or tie, they are in. So they still have a chance to get in. I'm going with the Seahawks.
I'm going Seahawks too. They kind of owned the Cardinals the last couple of years, and I'll never pick the Cardinals to win at home. I don't know why they suck so much at home, dog. They're a horrible home team, which sucks for us because if we ever want to go to a game, we're pretty much setting ourselves up for a loss. But they're a horrible home team, man, and I think their Super Bowl was last week when they beat the Eagles, so I'm taking Seahawks.
Yeah, no, I feel you. That was a big one for them last week. So
yeah.
All right, so coming to the end in the final regular season game of the year, we've got Sunday Night Football, the Buffalo Bills at the Miami Dolphins, and this is an AFC East championship game. The winner of this game wins the division. There is a chance that Buffalo will be out of the division, out of the playoffs if they lose this game. They will know going into this game whether they're in or not, or if they can potentially fall out. But either way, I think that they're guns blazing. They're going to win this game and repeat as division champs. And I kind of feel sorry for the Dolphins having kind of been front runners all year, but this is the reality of the situation. You got to win every game, and every single game matters. And this one's going to be a big one, but I don't know why. I just feel like the Dolphins have a little bit more momentum going for them.
Yeah, I actually agree with this. The injuries really kind of hurt them towards the end, especially to Tyreek Hill. That really hurts Tua because I'll just go out and say it. Like I still don't think he's very good. You know what I'm saying? Like I really think Tyreek Hill really, really kind of saved his career. And the games that Tyreek Hill missed, it's still kind of evident of that. You know what I'm saying? And I think Bills, like, it's a must-win game for them. They don't want to get in on, we need the Steelers and I think the Jags to lose or whoever it is.
Right.
And they're like, let's beat the Dolphins, let's win the division, let's get a home game, playoff game, right? And they had all the momentum, you know what I'm saying? Like they've won their last 4 or 5 games in a row, and they're trying to make it 6 to get into the playoffs. So I think they win this game too.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting. Already in no matter what, so it doesn't matter.
Right, that's true. Yeah, the Dolphins are just playing for AFC East division title, but even if they were to lose this game, they would be in the wild card. Yeah. I think maybe even the top wild card spot based on their record. Yeah. So yeah, I do think that the Bills will win, but it'll be interesting to see how they handle the pressure because will they, kind of. Sometimes Josh Allen looks a little bit nervous, you know what I'm saying, in certain situations, but we'll see which Josh Allen shows up. Pops is actually going for the Dolphins. He wants to see the Bills fall all the way out. I don't know, but it is interesting that it's at home for the Dolphins. I think that does make a difference. It makes it a little
Yeah,
bit closer.
yeah.
So
But also, it's funny, man. It's like it definitely helps the Dolphins, but it helps the Bills too, right? Like they could be in Buffalo right now playing in the snow. You know what I'm saying? But so it's like thankfully the Dolphins are playing at their home state, where their players are used to the warmth. You know what I'm saying, or at least the sunshine. But it definitely gives the Buffalo Bills that edge as well.
yeah, no, I feel it. I feel it. All right, so that was our picks for all 16 remaining NFL games. I can't believe we're at the end of the season already.
I know.
Time really does fly, but here we are in 2024, looking into the playoffs. But I do want to remind you all that we have our pick'em going on. Last week, Kelly won. Here for the snacks won last week, so shout out to her. I think that was like her third week win, or maybe even the fourth. So she's going to get that Super Bowl square. But I do want to remind you all also that Super Bowl squares are on sale now. So hit us up. We're trying to fill up that grid, and then we also will be doing our pick'em contest all the way through the playoffs. So keep putting those picks in. But now that we've done that and we've made our money line, we just want to remind you guys this is not actual betting advice, but we'll be moving into our against the spread picks where we'll consider the adjusted score. And Strizzy, I'm gonna have you start us off with this one. Last week you did hit on the Cardinals, which
Yeah.
was your lock of the week. You knew you had that strong feeling that they were gonna win and at least cover the spread. So hit
Yeah.
one with them. But let's get going on this week's locks.
Yeah, like we talked about earlier, the Raiders winning this game. I think they definitely want to go out with a win. So I think Pierce hopefully is going to get that job, and I just feel like the league just wants to destroy the Broncos. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like if anybody wants to beat a team down right now, like everybody wants to beat the Broncos down for the way they did Russell Wilson, and really shitty franchise, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it was horrible. So I'm taking
Yeah,
the Raiders in this one.
yeah. Burn it down.
For real. Literally just talked about it. Buffalo Bills have a ton to play for, um, especially in this game. They're going into Florida as the favorite. You know what I mean? And with the Dolphins have a better record, and I think rightfully so. I think they're going to win this game at least by a touchdown. Not touchdown. At least by a field goal.
Got you.
And then LA at this one too. So San Francisco is going to be resting all their starters. I think LA will at least play the majority of their starters for at least the first half. I think maybe even a little bit into the second half. But even if they lose this game, it's not going to be by more than 4. But I think they win like straight up.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that one. I do think that it definitely means a little bit more to them, even though both of those are playoff teams.
Yeah,
But also, too, in the back of their mind, right, they know that they might have to go play them again. So you might as well go all
sure.
out.
Sure.
So I like that. All right, we'll go through my locks real quick. I did hit 2 locks last week and a push, so I'll take that for sure.
Yeah.
The Raiders by 3, they that was a push there, but Packers and Patriots did come through with me. I'm going with the Texans in tonight's game. On this one, by 1, basically a pick 'em, right? But I
Yeah.
do think that the Texans will win this game, and I'm still hoping that they can somehow win the division, depending on what happens with the Jags tomorrow. We talked about this one: Patriots at home in Bill Belichick's final game, or what we expect to be his final game. I do think that they'll go out with a victory over the Jets, and the Jets, I think they're really ready to pack it in, man. They basically shut the book on this season a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then lastly, sorry, Strizzy, but I had to pick the Bucks in this game in a big spot, right, with the division on the line and playing who is basically the worst team in the league right now against the Panthers. And I just don't see how that they drop this game. 4.5 is kind of a lot, though. It might end up being a little bit closer, but I think at least a touchdown, we should be safe there. So I'm going with the Bucks with their chance to win the division. Lastly, we got to put up our records real quick. These are our records going into the final weekend. So yeah, I am 1 behind you. I am 1 behind you. So we'll see what happens with this week. This will be very, very tricky. But I do have a chance potentially. I might have to go back and pick some upsets though, just to see if I can shake things up a little bit. Go with the gusto. But this is ours, and then next week we will do our final rankings of the season. So we'll see how it shakes out. And then on the bag side, doing pretty good. You know what I'm saying? But still some more bags to be had. And what I'm thinking we're gonna do is we'll see. But going into the playoffs, since there's so few games, we might just do all the playoff picks against the spread just to see
Yeah.
ourselves on that and just to see if we can get some more bags. So that's what we're looking at right now, though. And that was all of the last games for this weekend, including all of the playoff scenarios. So I know it took a little bit longer than normal, but we hope you all enjoyed that, and we want to make sure everybody, you know what I'm saying, understands what's going on with these final games, though. You can't just make your picks off of, this or that, or Chiefs versus Chargers. You would normally pick the Chiefs, but again, we want to make sure y'all know who's resting their starters,
For sure.
and who's going all out. So that's where we're at with that one. Strizzy, though, anything else you want to say real quick before we wrap things up on this special Saturday edition?
You know what I'm saying? We look forward to football season every year, man. It's almost wrapped up, you know what I'm saying? A couple more weeks, you know what I mean, until the Super Bowl in February. And then a long waiting period, you know what I'm saying? But it's kind of nice, you know what I'm saying? Baseball picked back up again. I've really gotten into baseball over the last 2 years, which is really weird for me. I've always enjoyed playing it, never really enjoyed watching it, at least in the playoffs. I enjoy watching the playoffs, but now I'm watching a ton of games during the actual season. So actually looking forward to baseball season.
Nice.
I almost consider myself a low-key Dodger fan now, which is crazy to say. Show a player, probably one of so it's interested to see how they do this upcoming season. Yeah, man, football season's winding down.
I know it is a little bit of a sadness, because we definitely look forward to it so much, and a lot of our content on, of course, obviously this show, but also on the big show, revolves around what's going on in football. So yeah, we'll enjoy these last few weeks as we can, you know what I'm saying, make the most of them for sure. And then, yeah, we'll look forward to a summer where we'll start to bring some different content in. We haven't really gone too deep into baseball lately, but I think that will be one of those things that we're going to work on for this year for sure, talking a lot more baseball to kind of help us get through those dog days of summer. Also, I want to get us out to a spring training game for sure after the Super Bowl. Maybe we'll make a little vlog or something like that. But lots more to come for sure. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. And football season is not the end of our content. We're going to keep it moving, 228 weeks in a row. So we ain't going to stop anytime soon. But yes, come back for Tuesday for the big show. Come back next Thursday. We'll be doing all the playoff games. And yeah, we'll see you guys around. But thank you for rocking with us. Hope everybody has a happy, safe weekend. And we'll see y'all on Tuesday. But until then, it's your boy A-Dub.
And your boy Striz.
Peace.